What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. I'm really excited about today's build video because today we are taking a look at a surprisingly powerful Behemoth build that will absolutely delete anything that stands in your way. This is the Everything Titan build. So if you're a new light or veteran Guardian who's looking for that superior Stasis build, then this is it. Whether it's another Guardian, a field of rank and file adds, or tormentors, champions, and bosses, you'll feel like a giant frost god, burdened with glorious purpose to freeze and smash everything into oblivion. This build doesn't rely on an artifact either, which makes it even more impressive that it's able to perform so well right now at any level of content, which means that when Stasis does receive benefits from a seasonal artifact, this build will be even more prolific, which I am fully expecting to see Stasis on Season 22's artifact. While you may have some initial doubts about Stasis, mainly because of the recent nerfs to its resistance and overshield features, the changes were honestly fairly minuscule and didn't really change anything about how well this build performs. This build features the Hoarfrost-Z exotic chess piece, which comes with the Glacial Fortification intrinsic trait. This converts your barricade into a wall of stasis crystals, which will in turn provide you and allies with several different benefits. When activating the barricade, 4 large stasis crystals will be created, including a shorter center crystal, allowing you to have a clear opening to continuously target enemies, giving you the same benefits as a rally barricade. These stasis crystals can withstand a total of 400 points of damage, with the smaller crystals withstanding 250 points. Just like any other stasis crystal, these can be broken over time by your enemies or by allies, and since these crystals are from your own creation, you will deal double the amount of damage to them. When this stasis wall gets formed, a burst of stasis energy will slow and freeze nearby targets and provide you and allies with increased reload speed, stability, and range. When the crystals are formed, if any enemy is standing within their development, those enemies will take a significant amount of damage and will become instantly frozen, and they'll take additional damage once being shattered. This wall of crystals will form into the environment that you're in. So if you find yourself up against a wall, alongside a ledge, or in a narrow cavern, these crystals will take on unique shapes that can provide significant advantages. These crystals will stay up for a maximum of 14 seconds, and during this time frame, you and allies can reap the benefits of several stasis aspects and fragments that we have selected to go along with this amazing and unique exotic. Starting with the stasis fragments, we're using Whisper of Chains. This grants 10 points of additional recovery, which helps get our health back much quicker, but it also reduces the amount of damage that we'll take when we are around any stasis crystal or a frozen enemy. This grants 40% total damage reduction while we are within 10 meters of a frozen enemy or a crystal. We're also using Whisper of Rime, which was recently nerfed but still provides 5 points of health every time we collect a small stasis shard, and 35 points of health every time we collect a large shard. When we are already at full health, picking up a shard will grant a 50-point overshield. This will synergize very nicely with the tectonic harvest aspect, which is going to create stasis shards when destroying stasis crystals. Since this build is stacked towards mass shard creation, we are going to be able to create countless crystals, which in turn will give us countless shards. So by using Whisper of Rime, we're going to be getting a substantial amount of survivability out of this build. We're using Whisper of Shards. This provides us with 500% additional grenade regeneration whenever we break a stasis crystal, which will last for as long as 10 seconds. To double down on our endless crystal approach, we are using glacier grenades, which will form 5 large stasis crystals wherever we throw. So between our barricade and grenade, we'll be able to keep all of our stasis benefits like health and ability regeneration and overshields active at all times. When it comes to our final stasis fragment, we're using Whisper of Impetus, and the reason we're using this is so that we get our weapons automatically reloaded when hitting an enemy with a stasis melee. This is more of a dealer's choice because you could just as easily go with Whisper of Hedrons so that you would receive the additional resilience, recovery, mobility, and weapon stability when freezing an opponent, or Whisper of Rending so that your primary weapons would receive additional damage towards frozen enemies. Personally, I'll prefer the automatic reloading of my weapons, but if you find yourself struggling to stay alive, then Whisper of Hedrons might be a far better option. I do find that Whisper of Impetus works extremely well with the Shiver Strike melee attack when combined with Howl of the Storm. This stasis aspect allows you to perform a special slide mechanic that creates a small burst of stasis crystals, which form directly ahead of you, freezing any enemy caught within it and triggering all of our other stasis benefits. Since stasis shards intrinsically provide 10% melee energy on small shards and 50% melee energy on large shards, our Shiver Strike is an ability that we'll be able to trigger fairly often, which is going to work out great when we get to slam that charged up punch right into a field of stasis crystals. One of the most impressive attributes of this build is its super. While it's not considered a DPS super, it is capable of dishing out a ton of damage over a very long time, since you can continuously freeze and shatter anything nearby. While your super is active, you gain 47% additional damage resistance, 48% when using Whisper of Chains. So this is going to be a very reliable super to use when in Master and Grandmaster level activities, where you would need to quickly wipe a few champions, mini-bosses, or tormentors off of the map. When it comes to our choices in armor setup, our main focus is the regeneration of our barricade, so resilience is something that you will need to max out. Recovery is an area that you should also focus your armor to, especially if you find yourself dying more often than you would like. This way your health regeneration can get triggered faster. The next areas of focus would be either discipline or strength to add to the regeneration of our grenades or our charged melee. Unless you're putting together a PvP build, mobility isn't really going to be immensely beneficial. Neither will intellect, especially since we are using dynamo on our helmets, which is going to grant super energy whenever we cast our barricade near enemies. We'll also be using siphon mods so that weapon kills can generate orbs, which will help recharge our super faster, and it will also trigger armor mods like Better Already, Recuperation, or Insulation. Collecting orbs will also grant us armor charges, which we'll use to refuel our barricade energy by using the utility Kickstart class item mod. Whenever we have at least 3 armor charges available and we cast our barricade, we'll get class ability energy in return, which can be as much as 50% energy. But to obtain that much energy, we would need to add in the charged up and stacks on stacks armor mods. Utilizing the heavy-handed and Reaper mods give us the ability to create additional orbs so that we can keep not only our abilities charged up, but our teammates as well. As a side note, to those who would prefer to use weapon surge mods as opposed to kickstart mods, you need to ensure that you do not have Whisper of Rending on when using surge mods, as you cannot stack those 2 damage bonuses. Before we close things out with this build, I want to talk about some of the weapons that you will want to consider using with your Behemoth. Double special weapon loadouts are very hot right now, and honestly, they're very reliable. It probably won't stay that way, but if you're packing Lead from Gold and Envious Assassin, you can really tear through some enemies as you rotate through your loadouts. It's for that reason that I really love the combination of Aegir's Scepter, the Iterative Loop, and Cold Comfort. This combination makes for a great DPS build to take up against any type of boss. Kinetic weapons like Monte Carlo, Bad Juju, or Traveler's Chosen can be great options to regenerate ability energy, while the Witherhoard, Osteostriga, or Le Monarch can all be great options to apply damage over time against your enemies. Stasis weapons with Chill Clip and Headstone will be immensely beneficial to synergize with our stasis aspects and fragments, and because of how they all provide their own unique synergy with stasis, the conditional finality, the Vergilus Curve, the Winterbite, and Wicked Implement will all be great exotic options to complement this amazing god-like Behemoth build. And with that being said, we have officially concluded our breakdown of this magnificent Stasis Titan build, which features the Hoarfrost-Z exotic chess piece, an amazing build that I highly recommend you try out. To those who have already, please let me know what your impressions were down in the comments below, and let me know what alterations you have made to this build. I wish you all the best of luck throughout the remainder of this season and throughout the next. Let me know what you're excited for the most in the comments down below, and thank you as always for checking out today's video. If you enjoyed and found it to be helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated and both really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.